Hello and welcome to another episode of You've Got Dirt on You. This time I would love to talk about a particular brand of race and their newest and biggest event. This is the Suffering, very well and appropriately named race. And in particular I'd like to talk about Relentless Suffering, which is their biggest challenge. Now the Suffering run three distances. They do a 5k, big inverted commas around that. I'm not going to do air commas, drive you mad. A 10k and a 10-mile course. So that's the Suffering 5, the Suffering, and Pain and Suffering. They also do a kids course, mini military mud run, I think they call it, which is not quite so terrifying if you want to put your kids through that. So why the air commas around those distances? Well, they are minimums and they are notorious minimums. Personally, I would estimate, and I must stress estimate because the RDs like to tease us, that the 5k course is closer to 8, the 10k is normally closer to 13, and the 10-mile course is normally closer to 13 miles. However, that was the past. Things can change. The Suffering also offer their Legends system, which is where you do the two shorter distances on a Saturday and the longer distance on a Sunday. Doesn't sound too bad until you try walking after the Suffering. These events have a huge amount of hills, huge amounts of burden carries. You'll carry an awful lot of water bottles, an awful lot of sandbags, an awful lot of logs, an awful lot of tyres, and you will be carrying them uphill pretty much permanently. So it is a tough course. It is a tough race. But what is Relentless? Well, as you know, many events are signed up to be part of UK qualifying or European qualifying, and in some cases World Championships qualifying. Relentless is unusual in that there are no compulsory obstacles. The 10-mile course is also a qualifier, I should mention, and does have the traditional compulsory obstacles, and you complete them and you gain your wristbands, as people have come to expect now. But Relentless, no, you just have to attempt, you can fail. The reason for this being you need to complete all three distances within 8 hours, including transition. Now, this would be tough at the best of times. I personally made it round the two longer distances. You start with the 10-mile, then the 10k, then the 5k. By the time my battered body fell over across the finish line, I had completed 23 miles, give or take. And there was still a race to go, and I had missed the cutoff. This was obviously very disappointing, because it was my best chance to get through without the compulsory things. But it is a hell of an event, and only 27 people made the cut. Only one of those was female. Well done, Gemma. It is not to be underestimated. Those who made the cutoff completed an ultramarathon of OCR in 8 hours. That is one hell of an achievement. That is one hell of a course. Things to note, as I say, huge amounts of burdens. A brand new rig. I think it's a new rig. It's been a while since I went back to Suffering last. That was huge and awful and terrifying, and I didn't like it at all, but in a good way. So well done on that, guys. Also, a massive props to the organisers for working with some frankly atrocious flooding, removing the car parking and putting on buses to ferry people back and forth. Some very good organising there. Quick thinking and dealing with the situation, and allow us to enjoy the wrecked ground when we're out running around, but without leaving us all bogged down in our cars when we're trying to get home freezing cold afterwards. So what do you get in terms of the bling? Excuse me. You get the t-shirts. This is my Pain and Suffering one in red. The main Suffering one is this rather fetching shade of blue. And those who did the Suffering 5 also got a rather nice orange variant. You don't just get a t-shirt, you get their newly upgraded medals. As you can see, these are very pleasant indeed. Nice branded lanyards. Much better stuff. The Suffering's never been shy with its bling, but it's nice to see it updated, upgraded, and really looking shiny now. Those who complete Relentless or Legends also get extra medals, as you would expect. I'd love to show you those next time. Who would I pitch it at? If you're new, you can definitely get around the 5k course. You can definitely manage that, as it's more akin to your traditional 10k OCI. It's slightly shorter than 10k, but it will beat you up a bit more. It's nothing too bad. You can get there. As always, just dig in. There is no shame in going for the standard 10k suffering. Pain and Suffering is a fantastically fun event when you're starting to really push yourself and get into the more serious categories. You can just double up and do 2. That's an option. It's a lot of fun. A full Legends weekend, if you're able to commute, or you live nearby, or you feel like just having a night out with your team, recommended. I definitely recommend it. And Relentless, it's a silly idea, but I'm going to go back. I'm going to have another go. I highly, highly recommend anybody who thinks they might make it, knuckle down and see. There's one way to find out if you can beat a challenge, and that's to try. And this is one of those events where you really can just attack it and try. One word of warning for anyone who's not done Suffering. Their marshals aren't quite as friendly as others. They're called Reapers for a reason. I hope you like burpees, singing nursery rhymes, hopping on one leg, and doing sit-ups in rivers. You'll see. And I will see you in the dirt.